do here is change the. Hang on, we're almost there. Desktop. Change. Face copy. Change the thumbnail of today's broadcast and start. And we will be on YouTube.
Let's see.
In just a sec.
Joining.
Looks like it's humming.
Let's see.
So, if anybody's listening and wants to check out youtube.com/carbible
and subscribe,
let me know if this is working. Subscribe,
and subscribe, please.
Yeah, if you're for the few folks who are hanging out live right now, we would definitely appreciate a subscription because we love hanging out with the folks who I see some faces I've seen before. So love chatting with folks that we get a rapport going with. It's awesome.
Let's see. Is the audio working?
I got green across my screen here. It's pretty cool. And
yeah, we're good. All
right. Yeah, friends. Well, welcome to Hoopty Happy Hour. It's Thursday at 3:30, which means this is our weekly live car chat show. And it'll be saved. So for those of you who can't come in live, you can check it out on YouTube forever and always with a little visual accompaniment. Obviously, world events are a little crazy right now, and it's not really in our realm of coverage. So for those of you who want to just kind of take a break and talk about cars, you're in the right place. That's what we're going to do. And it's a small crew today. It's just myself. It's Chris Rosales and Peter Nelson, both my Cali boys out in Southern California. I'm freezing my butt off in New York today, and yeah, that's pretty much how it's going. Are there any, as we get it going, are there any pieces of content you guys wanted to shout out in particular or talk about that you've seen bouncing around the internet lately? That's on the tip of your tongues. I'll cruise around and see myself if I have anything in the mix here.
The new Morgan, my friends. The new Morgan.
Yeah, so I've seen people like posting about this, but I have not been paying attention. What's the deal with the new Morgan? Is it actually a new car, or is it just like a body kit on the thing they've been building forever?
No, they actually re-engineered it. Now
yeah,
it has,
really?
Yeah, instead of a Harley V-twin, and now it has a Ford. Has a Ford 3-cylinder, which originally was the EcoBoost, but they took the turbo off it.
Really?
And it's kind of nifty, right? So they moved the engine into where the engine would be, not hanging off the front,
which I greatly appreciate. It looks so much better in my opinion.
Yeah, I like the new Morgan actually. I like it a lot. I like it enough that I would buy it. Where the last Morgan, it'd have to be a sixth car. I would totally take this one. This car is now a third car easily.
The all new Super 3. Is that what we're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, don't call it a three-wheeler. Don't call it the Morgan 3-wheeler. It's a Super 3.
The new one is the Super 3. That's the crucial aspect.
Huh. It looks okay. Yeah, it looks a little different. So for those of you who are listening audio only and may or may not be familiar, the Morgan, of course, is a English car that is 2 wheels in the front, 1 in the back. Although they have made proper 4-wheel cars, haven't they?
Yeah, the Plus 6, the Plus 8, and the Plus 6 the Plus 6, I think, or Aero. I don't understand what's happening. All I know is one of them uses the B58, big old BMW turbo engine, which is nuts. And one of them uses like another V8. But then now it's no longer a wooden chassis. That's the thing that really got me, right? Because reading the Alex Roy chronicles of his 3-wheeler and how many times he had to get his chassis replaced, which I think has been 4 times.
Oh goodness!
Yeah, and now it's like an aluminum, pretty advanced chassis. It's astounding. I can't believe it. Apparently, the Morgan factory is very much like the lumber section in a Home Depot. Is what I've heard the smell.
I've heard that too.
That's glorious.
Which sounds
amazing.
Which sounds glorious. And apparently, the same people has been working there forever. So I wonder how they're adjusting to building such an advanced vehicle that doesn't even have 4 wheels yet. I think it looks so nifty. I want to street drift it. Legally, of course.
Right. I've got a picture of it up on our YouTube right now. I kind of like those monoblocky wheels it's got too.
Yeah, it does have it has those AMG monoblocks. I think it looks sick. You should put my spec up, dude. My blue on white wheels, because white wheels are always good.
Did you tweet it?
I didn't tweet. Here, let me tweet
it. Where did you? Yeah, put it somewhere that I can grab, and I will happily put it on our video here.
Yeah, let me.
What a bizarre little thing. It looks like a boat, really, more than anything. I mean,
it looks like
the fun kind of boat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. But like, look at the back. I've got this. It's got like lanterns instead of lights on the back.
Well,
Wow.
now you could order it. You could order it with LED headlights, which is so fucking like wow.
We are a new and interesting century from Oregon.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, maybe you track rat guys can explain this to me. So in all the press photos, it's got a number 3 on the side with a slash through it. What's the point of that? Why is it slash?
I think that's just a style thing. With
the slash is definitely stylistic.
Yeah, because usually there's no such thing as like an orange flag. So I'm like, oh, it's got to be a style thing. Well, even then, if it was flag related, it wouldn't be signified on there. But that plate itself is actually kind of cool. You see the little tabs on there, and like
that's for luggage.
So it's for luggage as well as cooling properties. Cool. So I guess hot air pulls out from behind there. If I read,
it's a barge board.
What's up?
It's an actual barge board. It's an aerodynamic device.
Oh, okay. Huh. Yeah. But I thought I read that hot air passes through the back of that, and then you can strap luggage to the side and look extra cool in your Morgan Sport 3.
Yeah, I mean it's not a barge board like F1 where it's making the rest of the aerodynamics work. It's just because it looks cool. That's why I like this car so much. Well, it looks cool and also protects the heat. That's why I like this car so much, because everything about it is just style. There's no need for performance.
I mean, there's some little innovative things here and there to aid performance. Albeit, I will say, speaking of like just straight up cool style, I love the wheels. They look like DTM or like super touring wheels from back in the day.
It looks easy to work on, that's for sure.
Yeah, totally.
All the parts are just right there.
Can do a brake job without removing the wheel.
I would. I lived on the west side. That's what I'd use to go get coffee. That's west side Los Angeles to the non-thing. Not to impress people, for my own enjoyment. I love how all these ads of very beautiful people just driving their trio three-wheelers across some unknown lake bed.
Well, did you notice the one in the back is left-hand drive? So that guy crossed the channel and came to hang out.
There's mixed sides here. There's one.
So I guess so you get an idea. Hey, left-hand drive market, guess what yours will look like? But it's not as important as our right-hand drive ones.
Oh, I see. So those little barge boardy things. Oh, so the radiators are out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I see now.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And then you can see like the crank pulley through the fucking front grille. That's so cool.
It is pretty cool.
It's
very It's.
I like the kind of darker wheels too. I mean, you know me, I love like black and gray wheels, but that looks very good, especially against that kind of cream white color.
This is giving me like
really like
Defender like level vibes, where like this is a great way to redesign an icon, kind of thing. I really like this.
Yeah, no, I see. I see what you're saying totally. And also, I really dig the new gauges. That how they're like digital, but also with like the exposed facetors and stuff.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
I don't know how I feel about the digital gauges. Man. I have a thing against LCD gauges. I hate them very much. we need 3-dimensionality in gauges. Come on.
They kind of simulate it with this like starburst graphic they've got going on, but this is is it 0.0 miles an hour, you think, or is that how they're doing the tack?
I don't know.
Miles an hour. Oh god, that is bizarre.
Oh, dude,
so it's funny because
that leads into a future
we're
post.
Just talking
23.4 miles per hour.
We're just talking about those of you listening will get a sneak peek. We're talking about a post on like the proper way to express different variables on gauges, like RPM, for example. Sometimes you have times 100 or times 1,000, and here they've got like point number time. It's bizarre.
Oh, you know why? Because doesn't the F-150 do the same thing? The new F-150, it does something miles an hour. And
I don't know if it's. I think it might be tachometer also.
I think so.
I know what you're talking about.
No, so that's 0.0 RPM times 1,000. And see, I disagree with Morgan. It should not be PM X 1,000. It should be R/minute times 1,000. Okay, this is very. I feel very strongly about this. And then MPH is just expressed that. Okay, I'm looking at it on my own screen. This is really pedantic. I'm sorry, listeners. This is. And then, well, the fuel here, they don't even have a scaling for the fuel. That's our other thing, is the great debate of E to F or 0 to 1 of the fuel scaling, right? And this has no scaling. It's just
it's just a line.
It's just a line.
I guess. I mean, is that what that even... Like, there's this little arrow with a plus sign on the gauge, which I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
Like, maybe a...
Red line?
What could that be? Nah, it's only a third of the way up the clock. Unless it goes backwards. What the hell is that?
I don't understand what's happening with this gauges. Okay, we have to... We're gonna have to...
Okay, yeah. Check engine, headlight, high beam, brake, seatbelt, obviously. But what is this? Maybe, what the hell is that? That little arrow. And then fuel. Does this fuel... How high does this fuel go up?
There's like what the fuck is that? Is that like a compass that mounts? There's an optional compass that mounts on the steering column.
Oh, nice.
Okay, this is so weird.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So our friends at thedrive.com posted... I think that steering column thing is like navigation.
Is that the navigation? That's a pretty cool way to navigation solution.
Yeah, it is.
I like that.
So it's got so basically what they've done is they've stuck a little tiny gauge on the steering column, almost like a muscle car would have like a tack, maybe, way back in the day. But it's like, it looks like it's pointing up ahead with the 2.2 kilometers, which I assume means like, turn straight in 2.2 kilometers. Which is a very cool and tidy way to do nav.
So fucking...
yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty interesting.
Wow, what a nifty little...
This is like... So this is kind of a sidetrack, but like, I really like experiencing a car in its period. Like when I'm driving my dad's old Fiat, I like to just have no like phone stuck to the dash or anything like that. Just like... So you're right, but it's sometimes it's like, well, I actually do kind of wish I had Google Maps though, because I want to be able to get around.
Yeah,
so this is kind of cool to have an elegant solution that actually doesn't really take you out of the theatrics of the drive.
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean, where you want to like be within period when you're driving, kind of like how I like when I went to replace the tape player in my Discovery, I replaced it with another tape player because I'm just like,
exactly.
I just want to be stuck in 1997. This is great.
Right.
This is interesting because the experience of this car has been fundamentally changed by not having a V-twin, from what I understand. Because the V-twin is a big old like kind of motor, and now it's going to have a little angry 3 in it, and I wonder how that's going to be. Do we get Morgan press cars? Is that it?
Oh, I wish.
They do have a press office, or they did a couple years ago.
From what I understand,
in California,
they're pretty lax about. There's people I know who are not journalists who have asked for press cars, and they're like, "Yeah, here, take it." I'm like, "What the fuck?" So maybe get a suit.
Well, Morgan, I mean, they got to understand selling a car like this it's
lifestyle.
It's going to be, yeah, exactly. Yeah. People are going to want, like, people who are going to buy this are just going to be like, I want something wacky.
I'll do 1,000 miles in a Morgan Super 3. I'll use it as my everyday car for a week. That's my angle. I'm down. I'll subject myself to pain. What the fuck?
Yeah, I feel like you would get a lot of rocks in your forehead driving this.
That's fine. I'll just wear my Arai helmet around like a douche.
I wonder if you're supposed to. I wonder if you're legally supposed to wear a helmet with this. Maybe.
Probably not legally, but for safety, yes.
That wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. All
right, wait. I want to find your build, Chris. You tweeted it. You said.
Yes, I tweeted it. It was a very stupid caption. Third wheel in.
Okay.
But I think it's a very pretty build. I might be totally wrong. I feel like if my configurators leaked to the world, I'd be judged by car Twitter. Because I just don't have the aesthetic edge.
Let's see what you got here, my friend.
Yeah, got the.
Oh man.
Got the light blue.
Nice color combo. I like the blue and tan. Oh, that's elegant.
I see. And the white wheels. I love that shit. That's good stuff.
Little half gold braid. Oh, this is a great livery. This is an awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Well. With the gold like JPS vibes. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I like it.
Totally.
Yeah. See? Okay. All right. I feel better about it.
You have some validation for sure. Is that like a steel, aluminum, or something? Metal face, like the silver The very front.
Yes, I did. I did the aluminum. I did the aluminum. Yeah. I did the whole thing, and I did bright work in chrome because yes, I really like that shit. I'm looking at it on the stream. I want to drive that around and be adorable because that would match my helmet. That's good. Anyways, what automotive media have I my automotive media consumption has been really fucking. I just found this dude called Kyle Engineers on YouTube.
Okay.
He was a former aerodynamicist for Mercedes F1 team for the past 3 years, and he just quit. So I've been diving deep into like aerodynamics and like aerodynamics based suspension stuff. This is really in the weeds, but I'm kind of learning this stuff because I didn't know what a third spring, really how a third spring worked until I watched this guy. This guy's amazing. And also,
let me see if I can find him on YouTube here.
Yeah, the thing is, he's such an engineer. His presentation needs work, but
fair enough.
But he's really interesting to watch, and he actually knows what he's talking about, which on YouTube is possible, not always possible, in my opinion.
Is it Kyle.Engineers?
Kyle.Engineers. And from what I understand, you'd like this, Peter. He works. Mm-hmm. He's done a lot of Global Time Attack stuff. He freelances on a bunch of these cars. And there's things I've learned that have made me want to do aero on 6-iron, which is nonsense, but why not? Because it's like...
No, but it's fun to play around with, you know?
Why not? like throwing a splitter on the thing and doing some canards or dive planes. Because
he gets into like the science of why cars are shaped the way they are. This is cool.
It is super cool. And he's been doing all the new F1 cars. And it's crazy how you can visualize airflow. It's like he's looking at these new F1 cars and he's he's piecing them out like bit by bit on how the concept works, and that's just like superhuman to me. That he just does analysis and he's like, yeah, this is what's happening. There's a vortice here. There's energized air here. There's a stagnation here. It's like what the. I'm like, okay, wow. I should go to school for something.
I know it is kind of like it is a bit like that when you just blog all day and you talk to these mechanical geniuses and it's like, oh well, I know how to make good memes.
I kind of know how to make a story interesting.
Well, that speaking of that always when it comes to like considering going into certain fields, some of the stuff I often think, I actually might have a pretty decent leg up after reading so much about this stuff over the years, you know?
Right.
Yeah. I've thought about that. Why not go back to school and learn engineering? Except, like, I would say pulling a Dave Coleman, except he knew engineering and then went into journalism, and then he went back in engineering. I'd be doing it the other way around. But it's really cool. And he did a great... Here's a video I recommend everyone watches. He did a great video on suspension and how it all works, because I didn't really understand it. I understand suspension well, but not that well, because I'm not an engineer. And the way he broke it down was amazing. So everyone watched that. I wonder if I could find you the video, but...
Oops. Is it a Mazda video or a sport compact car video?
No, not Dave. This is Kyle Engineer.
Oh, okay.
Dave, I don't know. Dave did a video. He was in a video with Savage Geese when he did the Miata series. I think that's the only bit of media I've seen him do in like the last 10 years, I think. But this is Kyle Engineers. He's an amazing suspension video that everyone should watch, and then you'd understand suspension a lot better. And that's even from me about like what heave is. Like heave is a totality of motion, pitch, roll, all that stuff. It's really cool. But anyways, that's what I've had my eye on.
I just found the the meme that I always think of when I consider getting into engineering. Wait, let's see if I can put it up on the screen.
And the thing, God damn it. It's race car suspension is so complicated because like we understand our suspension to have 4 corners, right? We have four shocks and springs, and then race cars are like, let's add a 3rd spring to each axle. Like, what the fuck? Okay, and that's when I really lose sight of what's happening. I'm like, so the 3rd spring is doing what? Do I have to worry about this?
What blows my mind is balancing suspension with aero, you know?
Right, and that's the 3rd spring, but then you still have to worry about your 4 corners, and then you have to worry about your roll stiffness, and then there's I'm like, okay.
And then depending upon the track, depending upon the direction, depending upon condition, it's insane.
Yeah. It's mind blowing. So I like my street cars.
I'm a more production based person in that I like production stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, I can understand when cars simply have four corners. Skilled trades, me. Math, me. There you
go. Yeah, I was just ripping through. Oh, I've got a good one from our past. I was just looking through like the last few days on stuff to ask you guys about, and I know the one that Chris is going to have some comments on is you recently drove a couple of GTIs.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that piece already. Oh god.
And yeah, I know it was literally less than a week ago. So Chris is our resident. We lovingly call him our resident dubber, I guess you could say. But an avowed GTI fan, and of course you've been building up your Mark 6 for what, like 2 years now?
Yeah, it's been.
Not only have you've built it twice, really.
Yeah, well, I had to rebuild. Yeah, I had to give it a new face. I've really kind of blood bonded with the car.
Right. So, but then at the same time, you were doing some research and kind of realized for not much more money, you could be in the newer gen, the Mark 7, and get more power. Talk to me about
so the methodology,
your process there.
Yeah, the methodology is I want 6-iron to have 320 wheel horsepower. That's my goal. And to achieve
why that number?
Just because I like it. I like the idea of having the same power as a Mark IV Supra stock in a GTI.
Oh,
okay, that sounds cool. Right. And it's also what the power, usually what a KO4, what Volkswagen guys call KO4s generally make on these cars. Okay, I wanted that power, but the thing is, there's a lot of supporting mods that go into it. Not least of which is the larger turbo. That's a pain to install, and then you need a clutch to support that power. And then, of course, I need to install the diff I have sitting in my garage, which is going to cost me money if I can't figure it out myself. And then if I'm going to also do all that stuff, I need to worry about cooling, because I already pushed my cooling to the limit when it gets warm out, and I'm only making 250 wheel horsepower-ish. So horsepower, it makes a lot of heat. And the trouble is there's no upgraded radiators for my car. There's actually not a lot of parts for my car because the Mark 6 is, I think, the shortest generation of GTI with 4 years of production. And it was a weird car because it was mostly based on the Mark 5. And then what they did with the Mark 6 is they refreshed it with I think it was it Walter de Silva that redesigned it? But that doesn't matter. What their goal was to make it cheaper to build than the Mark 5 without sacrificing quality. And they did that.
Right.
But the PQ35 is such a weird and fragmented platform that there aren't a lot of parts for it. With the Mark 7, I could get everything off the shelf. I could get a CSF, like really good radiator that would cool the car down easily. My oil cooler on there, my fluid amper fits, all that stuff. And then I could make 300 wheel horsepower with a stage 1 tune without having to upgrade the turbo. And people will debate me on this, but I think the stock clutch will hold the power. The stock clutch has held, on my car, has held my stage 1 plus for 40,000 miles. And it's not slipped. I think people who are slipping clutches are driving like lunatics. And I drive like a lunatic, but like not like that kind of lunatic. But the methodology here is that I worked out the math to be around six grand at its cheapest to make 6-iron what I want it to be at this point in time. The car is worth about 5 grand as it sits, right? And then I also have like 3 grand in parts sitting on it that can go onto the Mark 7. So if I sold 6-iron, kept that money from modifying it, and I just pulled it together and bought a Mark 7, I could have pretty much what I want from the car, from 6-iron in a newer car with a lot less miles in a different package. And that's why I was motivated to try a Mark 7. So then my friend just bought a Mark 7. He got it from CarMax, of course. And he let me borrow it for a day. And I drove it around, and it was amazing. But the gearing really killed me. I fucking hated the gearing. Yeah. Gearing is really bad. It's like second gear winds out to like 74, 73 or something like that. Or my car second gear winds out at 6 grand to like is it like 50? It's like 50 miles an hour. So it's a huge gearing difference. And it really bummed me out because that's what I really like about my car is that I can just kind of use all the gears all the time and not really think about it. And in the 7, I was always thinking about my gears. I was always like, should I be third gear? Should I be fifth? Like, I don't know. I didn't know what to do with it. And the 7's interior is nice. I just didn't like it as much as mine. But the 7 is so amazing. It's so much such a if I was starting stock for stock and I wasn't with this deep into 6-iron, I'd be getting the 7. But the fact that I'm like in 6-iron already, that's kind of why I'm sticking with the 6 and just going to upgrade it. That's my methodology. Yeah. It's nothing like that complicated. It's just the 7 is amazing, and all my friends are like, "Get the 7, get the 7," and I'm like, I don't like the gearing, and I didn't like the engine that much. Actually, I think it got really refined and nice in the Gen 3. I have the Gen 1 TSI, and it didn't rev out. It revved like my mom's TDI in a lot of ways, where just like lots of puff and then nothing at the top. And my car gets the 6 pretty willingly. $6,000, and it's like vibing up there. Also, like, I don't know, I've given my car a feel. My car feels like a little more raw. It feels raw enough for me. There's enough feedback, and the 7 is like really, really, really refined. It's like Lexus refined. It's insane how much you don't feel in that car. There's no engine vibration. At 80, it's like silent. It's crazy how much work they've done to make it a nicer car to be in, but maybe it's not like the experience I'm looking for, I think is what I'm trying to say.
What was the mileage difference? Like, how many miles are on your car? Oh wait, I can see it. I've got a picture of the odometer.
My car has right now is like 172,000 miles, and that 7 had 66,000.
I mean, that's like not a small factor of the NVH difference you might have felt.
Well, the NVH. The thing is, I could tune all that out myself. So it'd be being fair to the 7. I could hone the 7 into an object that would make me feel like the 6, right? The trouble with that is that I would really want to swap the 6 gearbox into the 7, which you can do. I've done my research now, and you can do that.
Of course you did.
Yes, and you could you could swap the 6 gearbox onto the 7 with the correct, in my opinion, gear ratios. And the thing is, my car, I've done a lot of stuff. I have sway bars, I have bushings, I have hardened engine mounts. I have all these things that I wanted to feel a bit more, but not too much, that I did to my car, that I would do to the 7. So that's another thing, is if I bought the 7, it wouldn't just be as simple as tune, bullshit, all this, and I'd be there. It'd be another whole process of tuning, because I didn't just throw parts on the 6. I really, really agonized and thought, and I put parts on and I took them off, and I tried a lot of different combos until I got the car where I wanted it to go. And it'd be the same thing with the 7. I would kind of know where to start better than the 6, but it'd be another like year or two of tuning before I really got the car where I wanted it to be. Which, am I down for? Maybe. Am I down to do it on another GTI less than I am on like maybe like a Miata or something? Honestly, I feel like my energy would be better spent doing this on like an actual sports car rather than making another 6-iron, because I already have the 6-iron I want.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I think that's the mark of a true car nerd, when you're not only you're doing mods, but you're also redoing mods. That's a true level of tragic addiction, which I can relate to.
Yeah, I'm constantly messing at 6-iron. Constantly, it's annoying. It's not annoying. I love doing it, but it's
It is kind of both, though, isn't it? It's like, I've been tinkering with this Civic for so long. It's like, yeah, I kind of want to drive it, but I'm actually having fun just like taking bolts out and looking at like where they go, and just like going on this journey.
I love, yeah, dude. I love working on 6-iron. People think I'm a lunatic for loving to work on a Volkswagen. I think it's a great car to work on. I think it's so easy to work on. All you guys just need to buy a Torx bit set and fucking relax. That's all you need to do with Volkswagens. Like, they're really nice to work on, and I kind of put that down to the engine being engineered by Audi and not by Volkswagen. That's the secret. There is Audi had a bit more money to spend on the EA888 as on the whole than Volkswagen. Yeah. But I really like my car, and the 7 is really impressive. And like, God forbid something happens to 6-iron, and yeah, it does get wrecked in a way that is permanent. Or even if the motor blows, I'd put a motor in 6-iron. It's something that would make the car not usable in the future, the body. Then I just get a 7 for sure. Like, or a 7R. I think the thing I didn't mention.
I remember you saying that was the ticket because it had the better gearing, right?
It has 7R has short gearing. So this is the end of the article that I didn't really expand upon because I didn't think it was appropriate for the piece. But what I think the move is for me, if I'm going to upgrade dubbers, is a 7R, because a 7R has the short gears, and also a stage 1 tune in that car makes around like 380 wheel horsepower, which down every day of the week, yes please. And also, like, I like that it already comes with the things I want. So this is also another bit of pedantic shit I really like about the 7s. Is okay. So on the 7 GTIs, you have the S and the SE, and then you have the Autobahn. The S and the SE come with the little poverty spec HVAC with the knobs that are like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The Autobahn has the auto climate control, and it has these adorable little quadrants for the fan speed and 2 little displays for the temperature, and I really love that. Don't ask me why.
Let me try to find this. Yeah. Wait, this is on the. Hang on.
So yeah, like Mark 7. Yeah, Mark 7 GTI Autobahn HVAC. I guess it would be. Let me see how this. And this is actually a popular swap. People do this to their 6s. I can't do it on mine because I don't have the right AC unit. Again, this is top shelf nerdery that I love about it. But finding a 7 GTI Autobahn is actually surprisingly hard, and they're also like $10,000 more expensive than a base one for some reason. Or you can get like, and also I want the adaptive headlights. I want all the bullshit because I can't live without headlights that turn. I have decided officially because they're so.
You're really getting picky,
dude. Because I'm not going to downgrade from 6. 6-iron already does the turning headlights, and that's actually super useful. You'd be surprised at how like great that is for driving. The 7R has all that too, and also I like that the gauge needles are blue and that it has blue ambient lighting and stuff like that. I like that little stuff. The plaid, fine, whatever, I could take or leave, but everything else I really like about it.
Interesting. I'm like sort of finding all my picture searches are really low res for some reason. Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
no, can't see that either.
It's okay. Really it's top shelf stupidity for me. Anyways. But I think
what's
up?
I was just gonna say, isn't the Mark 7R does that have a manual option?
Yes, it does.
It does. Okay.
You can get it in
DSG
stick.
only for some reason.
You can get it in stick. Everyone's like, get the DSG. No, getting a stick. Leave me alone.
Oh yeah, agreed.
And like
I've only driven a DSG one. It was awesome, but I mean, I'm not saying the stick would be bad. It would probably be better, but I forgot it existed.
I would just want the stick, but like a 7R.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
The thing with the 7R is they're still like 30-ish grand, and I'm just not down to spend that on a Golf. So that's where just keeping 6-iron came into play. But the 7R, if anyone is worried about the things I'm worried about, which is like gearing and like driving engagement, then get the 7R if you can afford it. That's just to bring it back to the viewers.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Chris, I think that's a solid enlightenment on the GTI situation. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Peter, you did a very short post this week about. Oops, that's not what I meant to look at. About the Ranger Tremor you drove a while back.
Yes, indeed.
And since like people are talking Ranger Raptor lately, I wanted to get your thoughts on that truck you drove, because I drove some off-roady version of the current gen Ranger 2, but I don't think it was this one.
Okay.
What did that one have? Looks like it has some meaty-ass tires on it.
It does. Yeah, it's got the general all-terrain tires that they put on a couple other off-road models. I believe they are the same tires that go on the Bronco Black Diamond, actually, which is kind of cool. Okay. So some easy platform sharing there. And then it's got the 2.7 liter EcoBoost, 2.7 liter EcoBoost, 10-speed automatic gearbox. The added niceties going on is it's got like lots of underbody like paneling. So it's got a pretty significant like front skid plate, I believe, rock sliders, I believe a rear skid plate for gas tank, stuff like that. But then also the suspension are Fox shocks that are resi shocks, meaning there's added fluid in reservoirs that are, remote reservoirs to, improve cooling, improve comfort over like lengthy rips down bumpy trails, stuff like that. Pretty cool stuff for sure.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's funny. I'm on the Ford like promotional site right now, and they use the exact same vehicle you had.
Yeah,
that's like the
it's
gray
probably
with
the exact car. Yeah, the exact
It probably
truck.
was, honestly.
Yeah. Really I gotta say, I was talking to Tony about this. I wasn't terribly crazy about the gigantic
stripe.
Yeah, the stripe and just it says Tremor so huge on there. I mean, I'm all for fun decals and stuff, but like it was so big. It's a little
livery,
too much.
This livery gives me massive like porn stash vibes. It's really strange. It's really fucking weird.
I think they should have stopped. They should have not done the hood ones and not done the word Tremor on the back. And then it would have been a little more.
Yeah, because what they did is like the vibes are like a step away from Calvin peeing on a Chevy symbol on a Chevy emblem. Like it's like, okay, come on,
goodness.
Guys.
Right.
Look at ours R2.
But it was a great truck.
Was it based on a Lariat? Let's run through probably, or let's see.
I don't think it's actually that high up because the interior, it's still like it'll say Tremor on the seats and everything, but I want to say it was like kind of the mid-grade interior, if I recall correctly. Albeit it's been a minute since I drove it. What was that?
The first Ford I'll
late September
is the Ford that no longer has the Ford key chime of this era.
The boo 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 boo.
Yeah, it grates on my nerves. I hate that shit.
Oh, it
what's weird? We've talked about this before, and partially because I agree. I hate it so much.
It's a really bad one. It's so bad. Like my friend's Fiesta ST, like. Honestly, my perception of my friend's Fiesta ST is degraded every time I get into it because of that key chime.
You just lose a little bit more faith in humanity every single time.
Because there's a lot of people at Ford who listen to that and like, yeah, that's great. We should put that in the cars. And not a single person who had the power said, no, let's not do this.
Yeah. If they wanted to improve that, they should totally try to license or copy what McLaren is doing, because I think McLaren has the only good chime.
Because isn't it just a beep?
It's like it's almost like a Windows 95 error message, but like a little bit more refined. To me, it's the least annoying one out of all of them. In addition to McLaren's smelling the best out of all new cars. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent right there. But essentially. The inside of the Ford Ranger Tremor is pretty good, and it's comfortable. Actually, very good driving position, and actually very quiet too. Considering the knobby general all-terrain tires and being high up, you'd think you get more wind noise and whatnot, but it's actually pretty quiet, and it's got plenty of power for what it is. People talk smack on that 2.7, but I think that thing is glorious.
This is the 2.7 EcoBoost?
Yeah,
it's turbo.
That's a good motor.
It's definitely better than like the V6 in
I'm sorry.
Chevy.
Or is it the 2? Well, it's the inline 4. Is it 2.3? Is it 2.3?
Oh, it's a 2.3. Oh, it's a 2.3 EcoBoost.
Okay, it is the 2.3. Yeah. I don't know why. I'm getting my odd numbers mixed up. But
that engine is fine sometimes. Depends.
I mean, it's great in the Bronco and in that. Although the gearbox is the killer. Oh my gosh.
What is it, like a 9-speed?
It's the 10-speed auto that they put in a bunch of stuff, and it is incredibly annoying.
Ford fucked the calibration on that one, where like GM did okay. It was that gearbox, right?
Yeah. Well, you put your foot down, and it takes 2 or 3 seconds to figure out which of its whole 10 friggin' gears at once.
Right.
And it's just annoying. And luckily with the Bronco, you can opt for the manual transmission, which, oh my gosh, it'd be so cool if you could do that in the Ranger. But yeah,
you got a Bronco, didn't you, Peter?
I did. Yeah, I got the Black Diamond with that same transmission, with that same engine, and yeah, great. But man, just get rid of that stupid gearbox. I shouldn't complain too hard. It was generally fine, but. it was annoying how long it took.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't do a manual range either, because it's a global product, and there's like a lot of places that buy bottom trim stick ones just as work trucks.
Oh yeah, and you figure it's the same platform as the Bronco. It's just the Bronco's just cut down. You'd figure like, oh, why not throw it in there?
Yeah, they
especially
do share
for
that.
Someone who wants to do off-road fun stuff.
I don't know how I feel about the new Ranger. The new one.
The new one, the front,
front's a bit challenging.
It looks too F-150. It's like the thing I liked about the current and soon to be discontinued Ranger is it looks like a visually like different product. Still very good, and, nice and muscular, but I don't know. It looks too much like the F-150. It just looks like a miniature F-150.
My relationship to the current Ranger is also interesting because I'm used to seeing them in Central America, so it's like they're like not new to me. I'm like, okay, these are like there, and they look cool, but
yeah, I think it looks good. I got it up on the screen right now.
The new good. One. Yeah, it does look good. It does. Yeah,
it's kind of cool. It's those fender flares and the wide track are really doing a lot of heavy lifting for impressiveness, but that's okay.
It's a good truck.
That'll be interesting. It'll be very popular, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a diesel. Excellent.
Yeah. God, I had something else to talk about. Fill in. I forgot it. I don't know what I want to talk about.
From your previous post from the last week, is that what you mean?
No. It wasn't GTI related. What the fuck?
Well, I was also going to ask what you guys are working on, if you've done any fresh projects in the last couple of days.
Well, there's the TDI. There's the mom's Jetta.
Yeah, bring us up to speed on this.
Yeah, so I haven't done a post on this, so this isn't exclusive for the listeners, but the post is coming.
What year is this car, so I can get a visual going on here?
It's a 2015 Jetta TDI S in gray. It's a very, very normal car. But no, it's my mom's car, but also I pretty much half used it for the entire time it's been with us. But the lowdown is that it's a 1 year only Jetta TDI with the EA288. So it's a very unique car, actually. It's bring a trailer rare. It's not actually rare. It's just it's rare to a very very specific subset of people.
Okay.
So it has this EA288 TDI engine, and it has a timing belt interval of 130,000 miles. Okay, and this is a 2015. It's 7 years old. My mom commuted this thing 150 miles a day, 5 days a week for the past 6 years, the pandemic notwithstanding. So it has 247,000 miles on it as it stands, which is a fuckload of miles. And truth be told, the engine exploded outside of Tracy at 45,000 miles, so Volkswagen of America donated us the motor very nicely.
Wow.
So that engine in it has 200,000 miles, and the timing belt interval is 130K, which I've been telling my parents for the last 60,000 miles. Hey, it needs to get done. You should do this. You should do this.
60,000 over. Holy cow.
I'm like, you should do the timing belt. It will blow the motor. They're like,
living dangerously.
Yeah, whatever, Chris. I'm like, you should do timing belt. It'll blow the motor. Oh yeah, whatever, Chris. And then about 2 weeks ago, my mom comes home with a video of the car rattling, and it died in our driveway.
Oh no.
And my dad was convinced it was a high pressure fuel pump. I wasn't. So I popped the valve cover, and those of you who are familiar with SR20s know about how they throw rocker arms off. It was just like that. It was just valve train destruction. Just
oh my god!
Things everywhere. It was horrendous. Oh, so, one, I love that car. That was actually my first Volkswagen love, that car, because I drove it home I picked that car for my mom. I was like, you're going to commute a lot of highway miles. You need highway mileage. Clean diesel, probably not, but it's going to get good fuel economy. And it's also like nice. It's a Volkswagen. Whatever. We buy the car. 5 months later, they're like, hey, we'll buy it back. Just in case you don't want to deal with this. But we kept it. And I really loved that car, and I experienced a lot of things in that car. And it also gets amazing fuel economy, and it drives really good for what it is. And you guys were in that car when we were at Radwood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it felt solid,
It's a good fucking car, dude. It's a really solid car. So that's reason one. We're fixing it. Reason two is because new cars cost too much money.
Yep.
So we ordered an engine from LKQ. It was $1,000 shipped, which isn't bad for what we're getting. And I'm swapping in this motor. hopefully soon. I don't know about this week, but probably next week. So I'm in the middle of that. The car's in quote service position, end quote, which means I've taken the face off of the car because the motor is meant to come out forward, not over. So I took the face off the car, and I'm just going to work on getting everything, because it's a really complicated engine. It has 3 separate cooling circuits.
Jesus.
It has a 2-stage oil pump that varies pressure based on RPM and load. It's a water to air intercooler, and it has a lot of bits and bobs that are like just so many things that plug into the engine because common rail diesel. So figuring all that out is the big challenge for me right now. So that's where I'm at on my project.
Dang. I was trying to think. Oh, wait. You do have some. Do you have any pictures of this online?
I don't yet, because
okay.
I've been.
This was your other Volkswagen engine deconstructed that I'm looking at on another screen. Also, okay, never mind.
There's pictures of the new motor on my Twitter? ? Yes, there is. But like, it's nothing interesting. It's just like stuff.
It's in the back of your GTI.
No, that's the flat 6 from the Outback, which was a irredeemable pile of shit. That was a terrible car. No, it's a different thing. But yeah, no, the motor's in my garage, and I'm putting a timing belt on it. That's the thing, while it's out of the car, and I'm getting it like ready for a swap, and then take out all the stuff I need from the old motor that's exploded. And what I'm going to do with the old engine, I have no idea.
I don't want some garage art, man.
I should, but also I like my garage space.
Yeah, you might just be dumping that in the desert. Just kidding, don't do that. But...
No, do that. Take it to the local recycler. No, that's my project, is fixing a 247,000 mile Jetta for romance, and because new cars are stupid overpriced right now.
Yeah,
because my dad was like, let's just get Mom a Civic, and he goes in, it's like $6,000 markup. He's like, for a fraction of this, I could have my car back. So let's.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, big time. I mean, that's going to be the reality. Is just like it's kind of not the worst consequence. Like, I kind of like that people are keeping their cars longer. I mean, it makes sense.
That's the thing,
for sure.
Isn't that our ultimate master plan is make people keep their cars longer? Like, this is a consequence of people not being able to afford new cars.
It is. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we're kind of being forced into it by economics, but it really, like, it's good to keep your older car running. I mean, it's cheaper, it's better in a lot of ways.
It is, yeah. I mean, if you could do it labor.
I support, yeah, exactly. It's just the downside is if you have no mechanical skills, then getting a new motor is a pretty spendy enterprise too.
Well, so the original bill for the first motor, I think, totaled $16,000.
Holy fuck!
So 6,000 of and the car MSRP'd for a 20. So
wow.
Yeah, right. So if you're not a mechanic and you see that, it's like, hell no, I'm not dealing with this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because I looked it up, the new long block for Volkswagen is $6,000, and labor is around $10,000 because there's so much shit you have to do.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, that's where.
Yeah, jeez. I'm making good progress on my catback exhaust job.
Yes. Have you gotten the exhaust on yet?
I got all 3 studs out. No. So I got all 3 studs out. For those of you who, I think everybody who's listening has probably followed my saga on Twitter a little bit, where basically, like, the cat converter has these 3, what they look like bolts, but they're really studs. They come out and you bolt your catback exhaust to that. Now, the problem is, of course, it gets heat cycled so aggressively so many times, and combine that with the moisture of the Northeast, and it just turns into these, like, rust spires that are, like, fused to themselves, and it's like they're no longer viable as bolts at all. So I had to cut them out, which is done by, I cut the back and the front of them off with the cutting wheel, and then I had to drill with stepping up 9 different drill bits.
Oh my lord!
One at a time.
Oh my lord!
Just like a fraction of a centimeter every time, 3 fucking times in a row. And I timed my last one, and it was 2 hours after the cutting wheel was done. It was 2 hours of drilling on my fastest one.
Jesus Christ!
So yeah, and I bought so many hardcore drill bits too because I'm an idiot. And it was freaking brutal. So now, of course, before I can get the new exhaust on, my challenge is the old gasket was just as gangly as those dang studs. So it's like, instead of a nice flat mating surface, I've got what looks like the dang surface of the moon.
That's what the RTV is for.
Right. So I got some copper RTV at Chris's suggestion, the Permatex stuff. It says right on the pack that it's good for high temp exhaust. But my question is, I feel like I want to still try to get it as flat as I can. So how do you suggest I proceed, amigos? Like, should I put a sander wheel on the Dremel and just do my best, or like a grinder thingy? I don't know. I can't decide.
I'd start with either a flapper wheel on the death machine.
Okay.
Or maybe a wire wheel on like a drill.
Yeah, I was thinking wire wheel action. Yeah.
Because the death wheel is scary. The drill is a lot less scary.
Exactly, because I don't want to. Of course, I don't want to cut into the flange because then I'm hosed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, after all that?
Yeah. I would just. Maybe an exhaust shop can throw a new flange on for you, but fuck that.
If I could take the whole thing off, I would have outsourced this to an exhaust shop long ago. But getting the cat converter off requires like dealing with other screw bolts.
Well, because in front of that's gonna be the spring bolts, the famous Honda spring bolts, which
and they're high up too. They're like hard to reach on this car. Whereas those other ones, were nice.
Just wait until you do your first oil change on that car. You find out where the oil filter is.
Oh God, really? Oh no! Oh shit, you're right. I've never seen the oil filter. Wait, what? No, that's true. I never even thought of that. I'm gonna go look right now.
So back in the day when I had my 8th Gen SI, 2 things to note about oil changes. Three things. One, I would only use Honda genuine oil filters because, only the best pedantics for my car. Second, I would only use Eneos oil because it's JDM as fuck, and there's no other reason other than that I use Eneos. And 3, to change the oil filter on that car, you have to lay down in front of the car, scoot your way back in, locate yourself behind the front passenger control arm, reach up into the subframe and forward to the motor, and find the oil filter on the side of the engine block.
Oh God, dang it!
And yes, oil gets everywhere.
Of course it does. Why didn't I think this before? Yeah, I'm looking all over the motor. I can't see the filter anywhere. This is gonna be a whole thing.
It's on the back of the block, and so for those of you who haven't seen or worked on an 8th Gen. The engine, so the way the body is constructed is it's very cowl forward. So most of the engine is actually underneath the windshield. Okay? So this shit is, this fucking oil filter is hidden. It is up in there.
My lord.
And I am so sorry for you if the previous bastard who put that shit on tightened it. Because it's fucking,
oh my God.
It's impossible. My first oil change was painful because I'm like, who the fuck did this?
No! Oh God, I was so excited to get this too because like my Z31, the oil filter is similarly, it's just in this ridiculous place where it's like you have to, if you don't build like an oil catching contraption out of plastic, then it dumps oil into your starter.
Yeah.
Oh my lord!
As soon as you take it, it's just like, come on, man, why did you build it this way?
I think if I remember correctly,
oh yeah.
If I remember correctly, there is enough space for you to hammer a screwdriver in if it gets bad. But it's pretty buried up there as far as Hondas go. It's really not fun. What some people do is take off the fender liner, which fuck that, I can't be bothered.
I was gonna ask, is this a take off the fenders kind of job?
No, you could. I found it because you reach over the axle. It's located like over the passenger side axle, half shaft or drive shaft. But yeah, I'm sorry to break the news to you.
Wow, yeah, this is. Wow, oh man, that's a crushing blow. Now I'm gonna be dreading. Oh wait, let me see if I can find it now. It's above the passenger side
axle. Yeah,
you said.
Yeah. Okay. He's under. We're live under the car right
now. Going live. Okay, I see the axle. Ooh, I see some. Oh no!
There it is, Ian. You found it.
It's so high, and it's behind so many things.
He found it, dude.
Oh, this is gonna be a mess. Oh, that makes so much sense. I was like, why is there oil? Like all oil on this area, yes. And now I see why. Because when the last person changed it, it's fucking spilled everywhere.
Oh, yep.
Oh goodness!
All right, well, indeed.
Okay. Of course, yeah, that's pretty funny. All right, yeah, that's if our stream were slightly more advanced, I could take a picture of it and show you, but we're not quite there yet. But someday
we can get a good idea of what it looks like via imagination, and it sounds horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Also Google. Just look it up.
Use the internet.
It's so terrible.
I'm so glad that the Mazda 2 is just right there, right up front, just behind the radiator. You reach up, grab it, done.
My Volkswagen is so much more serviceable than that fucking Honda because oil filter right on the top. There you go.
Oh, that's right on top.
That's where it's at.
Well, like a BRZ or GR86 as well. Yeah. It's just right there. Just twist it right off.
Should we, that E46 is like that too, isn't it? Doesn't the filter up high?
Yes. Oh, right up top. Yes, as one should. So I want to get into a GR86 tangent, but actually before that I want to see if we have any listener questions or any listeners that want to hop in.
That's a good idea. Well, we don't. We do have some listeners in the mix, but if you're inclined to call in, shucks, it's almost been an hour already. Oh my goodness. Well, Francisco is going to talk to us real quick.
Yeah, that's why we're approaching the time, so I want to get people in.
Yeah, we are. Well, we'll definitely. We might have to save GR86 talk for next time, just because we are getting long there. But Francisco, since you raised your hand, my friend, let's turn you on. Where's the thing? Add a speaker. There we go. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hello.
Let's see if we can get it.
Let's see if it hasn't popped up.
Can you hear me?
Hey, there man.
There he is. Hello.
I want to vote against the serviceability comment on the FRS BRC because, well, yes, the filter might be on the way to the top. The stupid freaking coils are in the corners of the engine.
Ooh, that is true.
It requires gymnastics, pulling half the motor. It's a pain in the ass, and those, if you do track like me, those tend to go out, maybe a couple times a year. So yeah, it's like I hated that part because, sure, I mean, but honestly, I'm not doing the oil change on the BRC, but the coils I would like to do it. I can't do because the freaking engine, you can't reach the coils. So I don't like the serviceability level of any of the Boxster engines, period. I just don't think they're that friendly for someone like me who doesn't have a lift, can do a bunch of stuff that I can without lifting the car. But other than that, then I'm stuck. And I know there's
Subarus are really interesting. Yeah. Subarus are weird because I feel that Subaru was atoning for the sins of the Boxster engine by making everything else really easy to work on that wasn't the spark plugs, which has been my experience with Subarus. But yeah, no, you're right about spark plugs and coils. It is truly terrible. It's a job no one, because with my Spec B to get the spark plugs, so I had a 2008 Subaru Legacy Spec B, had the STI gearbox, good car, but to do the spark plugs on that car, which it needed because half of the engine had auto lights and the other half had champions, as one does in a rare Subaru. To do that, I had to jack up. I had to unbolt the engine mount on the driver's side and jack it up. It was true. It was really stupid. It was really dumb. And then don't get me started in the Outback. At least pulling the Outback motor is super easy, but engine shouldn't explode for fun. That's my point. Anyways.
Oh man, yeah, that's fair. We appreciate the insight.
Yeah, thanks, Francisco. Yeah,
no problem. We can talk later about me blowing up the FRS because that was not fun either.
They do that. They do that sometimes. Yeah. We'll see how the 2.4s go. Rest in pieces.
Oh man, well, we'll with that, we'll I think we might shut it down. We had a pretty good show, man.
But,
I'd
say.
We had our hour.
Back to the Bloggerinos.
Yes.
But yeah, that was cool. We learned, we laughed, we cried. I learned where my oil filter is, and wish I hadn't.
Yeah. And happy World War III for everyone today.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah,
we'll see.
But yeah, fam. We'll see you guys. See you guys on the site. Thanks for watching. Those of you who missed the beginning of this stream, it'll be on YouTube very soon.
Yep.
Thanks, fam.
Thanks so much, everybody. Take care.
Yes, definitely.